The show is the AM Sports, and right about now in the studio we're having our second, our guest in the house to take part of our second discussion on the show. Now, a very, not a new face on the show. He has been here a couple of times before. If you hadn't followed the show, you might know him. We got the Public Relations Officer under Business Development Manager, Nigerian Cricket Federation, in person of Musa Ehizoje. Musa, yeah, you're not a new face here, but we still just have to introduce you again to our viewers. Thanks for finding time to be with us on AM Sports.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, a number of activities, handful of activities. The Nigerian Cricket Federation got busy for the first half of the year, from January to June. Couple of activities that kept the federation really busy, and we are privileged to have you take us a rundown of how the activities all went. We have the under-17 championship. We had Women's Invitational League in Lagos, Nigeria Super League, the maiden edition, appointment of new head coach and high performance managers, and all of that. So could you just take us through the activities, beginning with let me say the under-17 championship?
Thank you very much. For the Nigeria Cricket Federation, this is like a routine we do every year, usually starting with our grassroots tournament, which is the National Under-17 Championship, and we've been able to hold that championship for 7 years running. And that was in February. When we started, we had just 8 states for the girls, 13 states for the boys, but right now 36 states for the boys and 30 states for the girls are currently playing this tournament. That's the progress we have had over the years, and we're able to completely organize the 7th edition with our partners, PwC, and of course other people. And so what that means is that it has provided a background, a platform to raise new generation of players that eventually go into the under-19 national setup, the senior men and the senior women's national setup. That is the first program we were able to do in February, which comes up, of course, in February every year.
Magnificent, magnificent. You said the program has been on for a period of 7 years, and for this one, there's an expansion from when you started. It was with 7 or 8 states, involved, and it has been expanded to about 30. That's a massive, progress you guys have been made. How have you been able to achieve this?
We've been able to do this with, first, if you have a prudent board, and if you have a leader that is visionary, the leader of Uyakpata, he wanted cricket to be played in every nook and cranny of this game, understanding that the foundation is very important. And so we went into a massive grassroots initiative, which we call the Nigeria Kids Cricket, and of course our accelerated growth program, which is to take cricket to the nooks and crannies of this country. And then he brought in the first partnership we had, which was the PwC, where he was the boss, to partner with the Nigeria Cricket Federation. And then we decided to create a tournament so that when you go into the grassroots areas to introduce the game, the players have to look forward to something that will keep them in the game, which most likely is a tournament, and that's how we bettered the National Under-17 tournament. But how did we reach these players? The Federation also employed coaches and field officers in every state in Nigeria, paid by the Federation primarily to go and coach cricket at grassroots. And at the end of the year, you should bring your products forward for a regional competition, which is the zonal elimination, and then the best from the region will form a regional team to come and play the national finals in Abuja. And that is what we have been able to do to make sure we go across the country and to sustain that tournament for the last 7 years. Incredible,
incredible. Talk to us now about your Women's Invitational Tournament in Lagos. Yes, it was an invitational tournament, extended some invitations to, other parties, and they actually honored the invitation. How did it actually go, and what was, were you, let me say, pleased with the outcome of the invitational tournament?
Yeah, the invitational tournament was actually the 4th edition. We've been doing this where we organize an international event in Nigeria, inviting other countries to participate. Why we do this first is to maintain the status of our high performance when it comes to women's cricket. It is also sanctioned by the International Cricket Council, which means it's going to count for rankings, international rankings. And it also helps our ladies to prepare for their official ICC tournaments. And so we made it an annual tournament, March, April, depends on when we are able to do it, and other countries attended. So over the years, it had grown. For the first time, we had only Rwanda come, and then we've had Sierra Leone, we've had Ghana, we've had even the Gambia. But now it has extended beyond our borders to start attracting powerhouses like South Africa under-19 women and Zimbabwe under-19 women attending the last edition in Lagos, of which Nigeria won. And that tournament also puts us in the spotlight when it comes to international women's cricket, because if you can attract South Africa and Zimbabwe, which are the powerhouses in Nigeria, it's only a matter of time before you begin to bring English, the Australians and all of that to Nigeria to play in that women's event. So it's sanctioned by ICC and it is very, very well recognized.
Yeah, how many countries actually participated in the invitational
the last time
tournament,
we had,
and how were you able to mix it up, the mixed culture of the different countries? How was it like?
They actually enjoyed it. It was 6 countries in Lagos. They actually enjoyed it because some of them, it was their first time ever coming to Nigeria. The ladies from South Africa and Zimbabwe was the first time coming to Nigeria, and they were not disappointed. What we tried to do was to internalize it, make it more cultural for them. When they come try out the Nigerian food, go to the Nigerian place, understand the language, and for fun's sake, we kind of nicknamed each of the captains, giving them a Nigerian name to try to blend them in. And at some point, you would see that they really enjoyed themselves, and they've also promised that they will be coming back in the next year's edition. But we want to expand it further. If we have 10 teams, it will be very fantastic. Yeah,
incredible, incredible. Actually, a nice one to have your visitors, establish that relationship to, have them, actually intending to come back next time over and over again. Sport is actually a powerful tool for uniting people around the world. All right, now we've got a maiden edition of the Nigerian Super League. For the first time, what was the experience? How have you been able to organize it, the maiden edition, how successful it was? Were you satisfied with the everything that all played out at the maiden edition?
We're very satisfied. The maiden edition of the National League was born out of the idea to create a Super League in Nigeria. A Super League that can attract the best players across the world to come and play. It is modeled on the backdrop of the Indian Premier League, that's the IPL, which is the most expensive league in the world when it comes to sports. And the idea is to attract the best players across the world to come to Nigeria and play in that Super League. But what we did in this maiden edition was to bring the best 96 players from Nigeria, both at the national team and under-19, and also those that have shown talents enough at state level. Bring them into a pool, categorize them from elite to good, gold, silver, platinum members, and then break them into 6 clubs. The 6 clubs were named after the regions in Nigeria, which is the Northeast, Northwest, and ballot these players to create a balance into these 6 teams. What we wanted to see is the best of the best compete together over a period of 20 days, and then from there it helps us to build capacity when it comes to selection for the national team, and it also gives the players an idea of where they are and what the standard should be like. Also, broadcasting it to the entire world means that we can now see players from the neighboring African countries and even abroad showing interest in coming to participate in the league. So we've started with 6 teams. Next year it could be 8. Next year it could be 10. But it's going to be a complete franchise team where sponsors can come and pick a team and sponsor. So there are no restrictions to who comes to sponsor which team. Whatever team appeals to you, if you bring $1 billion to say this is my team, whatever you do with that team, however you're able to source for players, bid players, buy players, just like normal where you go to the transfer market to buy players. That is what we want to establish in Nigeria. We want to commercialize the game.
Yeah.
We want the players to earn good money from playing cricket. We want players to have a career, to be seen across the world, and be able to be invited to international leagues as well in other countries. We already have players who will put in placement in South Africa and Zimbabwean league, but we want to expose as much players as we can. So when the president came up with this Super League idea, it was a no-brainer for everybody to key in. And we were able to host it within our means in Lagos successfully. And the outcome was amazing because now we have attracted further interest from people across the world, people across Africa. They want to be part of it. They want to know how we're doing it. They want to understand the structure. And of course, that is another milestone we've been able to achieve to introduce.
Yeah, so Musa, we have a lot handy to discuss on this segment. We'll be going for a quick break, taking our news at 11, and we'll be bringing you back in the studio, for the concluding part of this discussion. But before we let you go, what was the mode of selection? You made mention of about 90 players participated in the maiden edition from across the country. What was your mode of selection? What was the criteria for selecting these players that actually participated in the maiden edition?
We have a system in the Nigerian Cricket Federation where players are under contract. The national team players are under contract, where they are paid monthly salaries, whether they go on tournaments or not. So those are our elite players. Those are in the national team. The next set of elite players are the under-19 national team players. And then, of course, there are prospects that may have come to the camp for selection but couldn't make it, but they are good enough. So like I said, they fall into three categories. Yeah. And we pick. So if we have, for instance, 16 players at the elite level, you break them into 6 teams to create a balance. So break it down that ladder was how we were able to pick these players. All
right, we are going to break it down, this discussion on the show right now. We'll take a quick break. When we return after the news, we'll be having you in the studio back again. For now, thanks for finding time to be with us. We'll be having you right back after the news. All right, the program is AM Sports. We will now pause for news at 11. When we return, we'll be having Musa Ehijose back in the studio for the concluding part of our discussion. Stay with us. Yes, so welcome back from our new studios. Remember, I told you that we'll be wrapping up a discussion we started with the Public Relations Officer and Development Manager, Nigerian Cricket Federation. He's back into the house with me. And yes, Musa, it's back to have you back on set again.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're having a very robust, discussion before we had to take the break for the news. But now let's make it a continuation. But the real point that I want us to talk about now is the appointment of new head coach and a high performance manager of the cricket.
It's the standard that is for international best practice. You have to have a senior men's coach for the national team and high performance manager that looks after the national setup of the federation, which has to do with the men's cricket, at some point the women's cricket, and of course the under-19, providing an oversight function. But the primary responsibility is to develop our team to the next level, to be able to compete with other teams from across the globe. At some point early this year, we lost Steve Tikolo, but somehow we have a relationship with Stevens because the man who has come now is Steven Magongo from Zimbabwe. He's a level 3 coach. He's coached the Zimbabwe senior team on the 19 team and has vast experience. So the purpose of unveiling a coach much qualified than the previous one, like I said, is to have our game move to the next level in terms of our ranking, in terms of our performance, skill enhancement, and overall high performance setup in Nigeria. A couple of people showed interest, but he fits the bill, being able to relate with us from an African perspective. And of course, his track record also speaks for itself. So we're looking forward to having him develop a high performance and take us to the next level. It was an easy decision by the board because for us to remain relevant at the international stage, we must do this. And we have been able to knock that off our checklist, and we are set for a much better performance with our national side.
All right, all right. It was an easy decision by the board. Now, does it mean we don't have a Nigerian that has, you know, an equal track record as compared to him? That's why we have to go for an international coach?
Fairly put, we don't have a Nigerian with that level of experience that has managed a test-playing nation. There are only 12 countries that play test in the world out of 111 ICC member countries. And he is a coach that has been able to manage a team at that level. Nigeria is not a test-playing nation. We're an associate member, and we don't have the coach at that level. In terms of experience, no, we do not. But in terms of talent, yes, we have level 3 coaches that are becoming level 3 coaches. And part of the high performance setup is that these coaches will also be training under him. In the near future, they too will have that level of experience to be able to lead the national team. So what we're doing is bringing the best to come to Nigeria to train our coaches and also help our team improve, and our coaches can be understudy. But we have fine talent of coaches in level 2 and a couple in level 3 that very soon will become indigenous to us and can take us to the level we really want to go.
All right, let's continue in the aspect, capacity building. And we'll have a level 2 ICC coaches course in Ghana. Yeah, it was actually organized and it took place in Ghana.
Yes.
I'm talking about the capacity and increase in capacity building.
Yeah.
How was the the coaching, can I say, clinic course in Ghana?
It's an ICC course, level 2, which is like the intermediate before you get to level 3, and 2 of the Nigerian coaches, which is the assistant. One is going to be the assistant to the Steve Magongo at the senior men's team, and the other is the senior women's team coach, which is Leke and Theophilus. They went to Ghana for the level 2 course, and of course they were successful. So it means we have added more level 2 coaches to the ranks in Nigeria. And of course, if they are going to be dealing with the national team, that is the barest minimum they have to be for them to be able to handle the national team. And that was successful for us. On the flip side, on the umpire side, we also had one of the Nigerian umpire for the first time.
I was actually going there, starting with maybe we hardly have Nigerian referees, let me say, in football, appointed by international bodies to man their affairs out there, but we have someone in cricket here, umpire.
We have 4 umpires.
Massive.
At the international panel, ICC panel of African umpires. We have 4 umpires there. Unfortunately, I am one of them, and 3 of my other colleagues. Since 2018, we've represented Nigeria, umpires from Nigeria at ICC tournaments. But what makes this one stand out is that among the 4 of us, he's been appointed into the development panel. What the development panel means is that for every tournament you're going to have, as far as Africa is concerned, they have the priority of considerations. They are like the elites in Africa right now. They are then for other umpires who are also in the African panel, and then they get to pick from there to join the elite. Why it is good for Nigeria is that it means we have now built capacity at umpiring level to the highest it can be, as far as ICC wants it to be, and as far as an associate nation is. So it's a testament of the efforts the board have put in capacity building for coaches and umpires. And I can tell you, Nigeria is about the only country in West Africa that has 4 umpires consistently at the international level. As I speak with you, in August, 2 of them are going for assignments. 2 separate umpires are going for 2 different assignments, ICC assignments in Tanzania and in Rwanda. So it is the effort from the board that has been able to do that. So side by side, as we develop the game on the field, we're also developing capacity in terms of coaches and umpires.
Yeah, time actually fast spent on the program now. But you say you're one among the umpires, of the Nigerian Cricket Federation. Does it mean you're now a jack of all trades? Because first of all, a PRO, business development manager, and now an umpire. How do you handle all these responsibilities?
When you retire from the game, you kind of diversify into a professional angle. I've always been an umpire since 2010, since 2005, even
Really?
while I was playing. And so it just came as a career for me. And of course, I'm an administrative staff in the federation, but it doesn't mean the umpiring aspect has been degraded. And all of this put together, Nigeria was announced as for social impact program in the last ICC conference. We actually won an international award for our CREO program, which is also one of our model programs where we try to involve women, specifically young girls, into the game. CREO means playing cricket anywhere, anytime, by anybody, not with special equipment. So we want to try and make that game, make people have access to the game in any way. And we're able to have a CREO festival where we introduce young girls into the game and all of that. And the way we did it in Nigeria actually right now gave us a global award, which is 4 in 6 years that we have won at the international stage. So all of this together is what we've been able to manage in just 6 months in the Nigeria Cricket Federation, and we can continue to say thank you to the President Uya Akpata, because if he had not given us the vision and something for us to follow, we might not be able to do that. Just
in 30 seconds now, what do we have for the remaining part of the year? The first half of the year, incredible activities, and then the remaining part of the year. Just in 30 seconds before I let you go.
We have 2 international tournaments for the under-19 boys and girls. We have a men's senior tournament at some point, and of course we have a domestic tournament, national men and women's championship for the remaining part of the year. So we still have at least 4 international tournaments, and of course like 3 domestic tournaments, side by side the festival, and of course the youth games.
Thank you very much, Musa Ehijoje, for finding time to be with us. We hope to see you subsequently in our productions.
Always a project.
You're a regular face.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Sir.
All right. I've been discussing with the public, relations officer, PRO/business development manager, Nigerian Cricket Federation, Musa Ehijoje. It's been a nice time with him, telling us all the achievements, the activities, conducted by the Nigerian Cricket Federation for the first half of the year, and what they look forward to, carrying out, the project they look forward to, having for the remainder of the year. All right. It's really been a good time on the show this morning. Many thanks to all who have, put hands together to ensure a smooth running of our production, ranging from a newspaper review segment, having Jude joining us, and then the discussion segment, all my 2, guests in the house earlier, and then he's right now. Thank you very much for, being out there to our viewers. The show returns same time, same station tomorrow. Until then, do have a brilliant day ahead. I'm Tewase Igbayema. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.